We have Air Force One customs that come out super awesome. Stay tuned.
For custom sneakers, clothes, and collectibles like Supreme, check out sneakerpickers.com.
Hey, if you guys could go over to sneakerpickers.com, do me a favor, check out the Google ads over there. Every time you guys click on the Google ads, I get paid. It helps me. I rely on advertising money. So if that's something that you like to do to help support the channel, I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much in advance because I know a couple of you guys have. Anyway, this is what I got here. This Air Force One. And I'm going to do it up. Alright, I'm going to call this one Walk on Water. And you'll see. You'll see why when it's all done. First, I'm laying my base coat as usual. You can see the coats are real thin. And I go over it over and over and over again. That's a very important part in the process. I like to say this is an Angelus color and let you know which one it is, but it's not. This is actually custom paint by me. This is some paint that I've made myself. It's a special mix, special color, special everything. This is another masking stencil project that I'm doing by hand. I don't have a printer, so this is how I have to do it. I take my template, which I made by hand as well, and I put it over the masking tape that I have laid down on the table. I take the spray paint, spray over it, and it gives me a good idea of where I need to cut out, but I still need to make sure I do a good job with the knife. Then I put my blue tape over it, and I peel that up off the table, and now I have a stencil. I had to make 3 of these to do 2 shoes, to have enough surface area, as you can see, to cover the shoe. And then I lay that color down. That's going to be the color of the blocks on the shoe, as you'll see here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and paint base coat of this real dark, deep purple color. I have to do the swoosh. There's a couple trim things I'm going to do, the Nike Air on the back. But you can see here, those blocks, it doesn't give a perfect job, all right? It looks great from a distance, but it just kind of really, it gives a good idea of what needs to be painted. There's a lot of touch-up. You'll see all those lines between the blocks. I actually go back over them by hand, one by one. I go over each line. I go over each blue block if there's any paint missing. So when it's all done, it's going to look a lot better than what it is here. This here is Iron Lac fluid acrylic that I'm using. It's called Purple Rain. I'm going over leather paint. So it's just going to be a coating over that leather paint. For parts like the swoosh that are solid, it's not going to get a lot of movement. The paint's fine. I'm going to put a sealer over it, so I'll seal that in. Go ahead and tape off this toe box here. It's very detailed. It's going to take a minute. I have to get it just right because I'm going to airbrush the base coat to the toe box. Now, you have to go around that little edge, and you have to put the tape over the edge just a little tiny bit. Then you have to fold it over, and then take your fingernail and make sure it's flat. I do this to keep the same pattern that's on the outside of the toe box on that very edge. This way, it looks like it was put together in pieces rather than painted, right? You'll see exactly what I'm talking about at the very end. When I peel that tape off, you're going to see that little edge it's checkered, right? It's the same design that's under the tape. But anyway, I'm going to get this all coated. It's going to get a two-tone color, right? It's going to have that dark purple coming up into the toe box just a little bit. It's going to look like this right here. Pretty neat, right? So we're going to go from a solid dark purple back into just fade it off a little bit there. So you could see, go up about three dots maybe or so. I think the most difficult part of this project here is getting both toe boxes to match. Everything else, I wouldn't say is difficult, just tedious. It's tedious work. You have to really pay attention to what you're doing, and sometimes you have to do it over and over and over again. It is what it is. If you want it to look right, you have to do what you have to do, and that's what sets me apart, maybe I would say, from some other people. I'm not knocking anybody's work in particular, but I've seen some other customizers work, and you just look at certain things where it's like, well, they could have fixed that, or they could have gone back and did this, and they just didn't do it. I'm sure there's things on my shoes that you could pick out too, but it's my standard I'm setting myself to. It is what it is. But you can see here, I'm just working the airbrush, taking my time. I actually have that shoe pretty close to me. You just can't see it. I'm referencing it very much. I can't wait to show you guys the finished product. So here we go. There she is in all her glory. This is what I call the walk on water. I take a little inspiration from Jordan 3 and from SB Dunks. Maybe you guys can see those shoes that I'm talking about in this shoe. It's two specific shoes in my mind. Leave a comment below if you know shoes. Which Jordan 3 and which SB Dunk did I take inspiration of to create this shoe? That's all I got for you guys today. Joe Kyser, over and out. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good whatever it is, wherever you're at. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace!